Good morning team. I was on mute. How's everything going? Everyone doing well? Thursday 7th of September, 2 days left in the week. It has been a decent week so far. Amos, Neil, good morning. Mo, good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. While we wait for the rest of the gang, nothing too much on the economic calendar today, just GDP 9 o'clock. Actually not 9 o'clock, I just need to set the time here. GDP is at 11, so be sure to be aware of that. And initial jobless claims also this afternoon, 2:30, and then later tonight. That wouldn't affect us. Bank of Canada's Governor Macklem talking. So analysis playing out quite well so far this week. I think if you haven't, go back on the streams that we've had and you guys will see that the analysis played out very nicely so far this week. And I'm gonna take it slow this morning. I feel like I need to go through my entire process. Maybe there's some new viewers, some guys that haven't tuned on yet. So I'm gonna take it very slow and take you guys through my entire process, how I basically frame my ideas for the week, how I frame my ideas for the day and for the session. And then Neil also remind me for us to talk about yesterday's potential trade where the pivot was below the Asia lows on GJ and why I wanted to take the trade from the Asia low and not from the pivot. So remind me after the analysis, Neil, so that I can run through that as well. So guys, let's get into it. First thing I do every week over a weekend is obviously check the economic calendar, see what potential we've got. There's a lot of red folder events for the dollar. I know I want to be focusing on dollar correlated pairs as well as USD crosses and USD majors. So coming into a session, coming into a week, the first thing I do is I look at my weekly time frame. And always remember that your weekly time frame, your daily time frame, 4 hour, whatever it is, the markets are fractal. The only reason why you know this is a weekly chart is because top left here you can see it is a weekly. But if I had to print this out and say it's a 5 minute, you wouldn't say it's not a 5 minute, because ultimately price is still fractal. It's just a time frame that changes. So for instance, I'm going to use dollar as an example. I'll always look at potential structure breaks, potential swing points in the market, potential highs and lows being formed. And coming back to what I've discussed as well previously, is it's exactly the same as the setups we try and take. Just get that quickly. It is basically exactly the same as these setups that I want to take. Let me just bring it across. So for instance, the way that we look for entries on the 5 minute, this is also how I adapt my bias on a weekly time frame. So I consider all of these structures as potential selling points on a weekly time frame and on a daily time frame. And with that in mind, on the weekly for DXY, we started the week, I mentioned we closed slightly above this area after creating one massive bottom wick. This weekly bottom wick took out that previous week's low and then started flipping bullish again. So I told you guys at the start of the week, all of this was just buy side liquidity being generated to push the market up. We've closed above here, and where did I say can we go next on the weekly time frame? It just makes sense for price to go and test the commitment of the dollar bulls at 105.30. That is where we can potentially go next. We already through this level right here, which was a broken support structure. So let me just pull that through. So previously you can see this was an area of support, resistance, as you can see there, support, resistance. So we've already cleared that, so just makes sense for price to try and drive up and go and test that level right there. So weekly bias we established was bullish, then jumping down to a daily. I also have in mind that if I am bullish on the week, there's a very high probability that we could push down Monday, Tuesday to create the bottom wick. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday create the high of the week. Friday afternoon create the pullback, and that essentially gives us the weekly candle with the bottom wick as well as the top wick. So that is how my mind works, and exactly how it works on a weekly time frame with the daily as well. So maybe Asia, pre-market London, we create the bottom wick. If we are bullish, we're going to create a bottom wick on the daily. We're going to push up and potentially either NYSE or later in the day we're going to create the bottom wick as well. So that is always how your mind should operate when looking at daily candles, weekly candles, and even higher time frame candles. Is you want to technically be buying inside of this bottom wick if you are bullish. So you want to try and get it within that wick, and you want to catch this body, the crux of the move, and ideally potentially maybe close there or relatively close to the high of the day. That is the idea behind candles, how candles work, how candles form. And on to the next. So daily candle, Wednesday, Tuesday, very nice bullish candle. Monday we had the pullback. Just want to show you guys there we had the pullback Monday. Tuesday progressing up. Again, I'm bullish on the day. There's nothing yet telling me to sell this. So again, daily bias is bullish on the dollar index. 5-minute time frame. Let's frame our idea. We're still within the Asia range. We pipped the Asia highs, came back very close to the pivot. We're still holding the daily pivot. So technically I would love for us to come back into the range, take the Asia lows, and then come back inside of that range and then hold the pivot. Same thing with yesterday. We mentioned we wanted to see price take Asia lows. Asia lows was here. Let me just pull this in. Tested the pivot, roundabout pre-market. We pushed up. A lot of consolidation around the Asia lows, and then later that afternoon, 10 to 4, we had the move up. But again, from a technical basis, I use pivots, and you can put the pivots on your chart as well. Pivots traditional or pivots standard. I just mark my pivot as blue and my resistance as red and my support as green. So I'm targeting the low hanging fruit from the pivot to the R1 or from the pivot to the S1. S1 is support, first level of potential support. R1 is first level of resistance. Again, while price holds above your pivot for the session, I'm bullish. While it's holding below the pivot, I am bearish. So again, always ideal for if you are bullish for price to first take the Asia lows. That creates liquidity. All of the breakout traders that mark out Asia lows, that want to try and trade the breakout, that's where they get trapped. And also a lot of times if you are bearish, guys will try and buy the Asia lows. They will get swept. Price will come back, retest it, they will try and buy again and the market will flush it. So that is why I like for a buy scenario for Asia lows to be taken first, and then we can target Asia highs and the next level of resistance on the pivot, which is then the R1. So daily bullish, still trading above the pivot, still 20 minutes till the open, but we will potentially see if we can push to that weekly target around about 105.27. That is ideally where we want to see price going. Gold weekly, technically I'm still bullish on the weekly. We've come back to this level right here. As you can see, this was a previous support area. Currently trading at this level. I am still bullish because we had 2 weekly bullish closures. Market structure, however, is still bearish. We're still taking out lows, creating lower lows. We have yet to take out this lower high right there. So currently secondary market structure, this could all just be a pullback for this weekly candle to drop down, but I am technically bullish on the week due to the fact that 2 weeks ago we were bullish because we had this bullish engulfing. We were expecting some type of correction. We had 2 bullish candle closures. I think while we stay above 1918, I would still potentially be looking for buys. Daily time frame, however, is telling us a different story. Yesterday closing bearish. However, we closed bearish slightly below this area right here. So could we get some type of flush down? Also very little to no bottom wick on this daily candle. So again, on the daily time frame, I'll have to go bearish on gold. 5-minute time frame, still trading below the Asia highs, trading below the pivot 1920. Also, if I look at my accumulation distribution, weirdly enough, we're starting to pip above, but the general direction is still down. So we are still potentially looking short. Only way I would change my bias on the day to start looking for longs is if we do something like this and we hold this area. That is the only way that I can shift my bias from short to long. GBP USD bearish on the week, daily time frame. Let's quickly look at where we are. So daily closing below this area right here, bearish. We've got this wick to fill. Could we see a little pullback deeper into this zone right there, and then the flush down? Also, 2 massive sell days could potentially get a very small bearish day or either a small bullish day, but there was your move down. I'm bearish on the day, bearish on the week. 5-minute time frame, trading well below the daily pivot. But as you can see, our accumulation distribution is now starting to point more to the upside. So from yesterday's low, you can see the 80 is starting to try and bottom out. Some bullish pressure coming into the market. So even though I'm bearish on the day, I will potentially be looking for buys. Only way I can be looking for buys is we've taken Asia highs. If we can do something like this, I will be looking for potential buys. Otherwise, if we start failing at Asia lows, I will then be looking for sells. And the reason for that as well is if you look at the round number right here, 1 to 500, that is the institutional level. Let's maybe make it purple, round number right there. So if we start failing there, start breaking below the Asia lows, we start rejecting it, relatively easy move to the downside, relatively close to the round number. And where can we target next? S1, and on a daily time frame, quite a bit of clear air. Just looking left, we can push all the way down to 12448, and on the 5-minute time frame, where's that? Relatively close to the S1, but can we get some type of flush to that level right there? Potentially, we'll see how we open up, but for bullish price action, I do also think we need to get above the Asia highs. USD ZAR yesterday closing bearish above this previous area of resistance. What I would like, if we are going to come back into the range today or tomorrow, I would want to see this daily candle close something like this. That is a valid swing high for me, because this left wick, that wick, creates almost like this crown formation. So that would be nice. Or the other thing is, we are going to hold this level because we've tested it now, and we can potentially close like this, which also makes it quite easy for tomorrow, because then we've got this minor break of structure. So either way, neutral day for me, because it can go either way. I'm going to go with neutral due to the fact that we could be forming an intermediate swing high, and we can pull back into the range to come and correct some of this move up, or we can continue bullish, but it's currently looking bearish. Accumulation distribution all the way from yesterday's highs starting to show bearish pressure in the markets. Trading below the daily pivot. This is that breakout level, Asia lows. I'm gonna say I'm gonna look for sells. I'm gonna be looking at sells. Yeah. After the open, either here or daily pivot, I will be selling USD ZAR. GJ daily bearish. We've got this week to fill, almost filled. I was bearish on the week as well. Let's quickly look at the weekly candle. Again, go back to Monday's stream. I mentioned if we stay below that high, there is a chance that we can flip bearish. Bearish on the week, bearish on the day. Also, if you go back, I mentioned we are coiling. Remember, I think it was yesterday or the day before that, I said we are coiling. I don't trade patterns, but when the market does something like this, it is basically coiling up for a move, and it's going to start going into a tight range, and the breakout is very imminent. So let's see. Bearish on the day, already filled the wick, not a lot of range to trade in. This is our area of support. This is now our area of resistance. So not a lot we can technically do on GJ, but five-minute time frame, we've got some bullish pressure on the accumulation distribution. Not yet really bullish, still pointing down. Still pointing down, but starting to trade above the 200, so tricky. I almost want to say that I can potentially look for buys if we hold the Asia lows. just grab that quickly. If we regain Asia lows and we hold it, I can potentially look for buys. Otherwise, if we start flipping bearish on the AD, I can start looking for sells from the pivot. But daily bias is bearish. We almost filled this wick. So let's see. I would love for yesterday's low to be taken. If we can do something like this, I would get into some buys. So ideally take yesterday's lows, do something like that. Remember, we are expecting some type of like consolidation like this happening, so we're very close to that level there. So can we push back up? This is at the bottom of that little wedge. Again, I'm not a wedge trader, but I'm not oblivious to when the market is busy consolidating. USD JPY daily still technically bullish. However, already taken yesterday's high, starting to reverse. I'm gonna stay bullish on the day. Daily pivot at the Asia lows. So relatively straightforward trade potentially here. If we can break structure back to the upside somewhere here, I would consider longs. Also remembering that this is the weekly R1 resistance level, but I will potentially be looking for longs. UJ, Dow Jones, let's quickly go through Dow Jones. Weekly was bearish. We did create a top wick, but 3 days of bearish pressure coming down. Again, I am bearish on the day. Yesterday we were also bearish on the day, even though I got absolutely murdered trying to buy yesterday off the news, and I'll go through that a little bit later. But again, daily bias is bearish. I'm expecting price to come and fill this wick, and whether we reverse to do the correction, that is still to be seen. 5-minute time frame, we've got some very nice divergence. Let me just set our templates right here. Accumulation distribution, some very nice divergences, trading above the 200, starting to flip bullish. And ideally, I would first want to see this wick being filled, so even taking yesterday's low, and maybe even get some buys from the S1 right here. Otherwise, if we get something else where we start pushing to the upside and we start holding Asia lows, I'll be looking for buys right about that level. So let's see. Yesterday we missed, or I wouldn't even say we missed it. I don't want to take the first breakout candle, but we were bearish on it. So yesterday bearish, accumulation distribution clearly pointing down, and where I got killed yesterday, I'll show you guys now, was right here. So this for me was buy side divergence. So see how we were making lower lows on price, accumulation distribution was starting to point up, took a buy right there. Let me just show you guys quickly. Took a buy right there after the news, 40-point stop right there, and it got absolutely sliced. Just want to show you guys what I was trading there. The setup I was trading there is this type of little double bottom. You can call it a double bottom, a W, whatever it is. So I was trading that and I got wrecked. So that is part of it. Would I have tried to sell here? I wouldn't. This was also that daily breakout level, these two black lines there. Today, still order flow bearish. I would love to buy closer to this level down here. Then we would have filled the wick. Otherwise, I will be looking for buys once we are back inside the Asia range. Nasdaq daily bearish. Weekly bias, weirdly enough, was bullish because we had this massive bullish engulfing, no bottom wick, showing a lot of bullish pressure. And on a daily time frame, daily we are bearish, but we are very close to this breakout level. So let's see if we can hold it. Again, even though the bias is bearish on the day, I'm going to be looking for buys 3 minutes to the open. Also, accumulation distribution starting to try and get bullish. Asia lows quite a bit away right here. So I'm going to tell you what, Asia lows as well. I want to potentially start looking for buys. Again, I would love if Nasdaq goes to take out yesterday's low. And I would even consider buys around about this level here. Just refine that area for us a little bit. This flat body resistance area here. So if we can take yesterday's low and we come back above here, this is going to be my area. Yeah, I would love if we can just do something like this pre-market, quickly take it and then come back above here. That is the analysis, guys. Now to get ready for the session. 1 minute 28 seconds. Hello Davids, good morning, good morning. Neil, quickly let's talk about, there we've got it, nice little flush below yesterday's low. Let's see if we can come back to the upside. So Neil was asking me yesterday, this was the scenario we had Asia lows, we had Asia highs up here, and my accumulation distribution never showed me anything bullish. But in a case like this, if let's say for instance all of my criteria was met for buys on GJ, I would buy below the Asia lows from the pivot. The only thing that I would do then is, if I'm in, I would monitor once price gets to the Asia lows. So if I'm buying from here, from the daily pivot, I do not want to see rejections happening here. So that is why this is a perfect buy scenario, Neil. I think you were referring more to UJ as well. Let's quickly go to UJ. And markets are open, we are in motion. I think Neil was also referring to UJ. So if you are buying below the Asia lows, say from a daily pivot level, just make sure that you monitor the Asia lows. So, alright, so yesterday, remember yesterday I was bearish on USD JPY. We tried quite a few sells in this zone right here. Two sells we tried, minus 3.9 on the one, minus 6 pips on the other one. But again, I was trading from the Asia low, and also, as I mentioned, I was monitoring the pivot. And still yesterday, all the way through, I wouldn't have looked at buying this because the accumulation distribution was clearly pointing down. Where we now started to bottom out, USD JPY, we already ran through it. What the heck am I doing? Yes, USD JPY. We're looking for buys. But Nila overtraded on UJ. Did I overtrade or did you overtrade? I took 2 punts, so it took basically 0.5% loss on it. Bron, good morning. You weren't wrong, but the thing is, there was high impact news in the afternoon. We should have technically stayed away from USD crosses. Because this was a complete shit show for most part of the session. And then round about 4 o'clock, I was looking for sells on GJ. I actually had sells in from here. I had sells here, which I then closed, almost got stopped out. Once it went like 10 pips in profit, moved stops to break even. But then later the afternoon, Justin was here in the office as well. This is a very nice trade you could have taken. This was 2 o'clock, yeah, 2 o'clock. Accumulation distribution, bearish. Nice bearish engulfing, a rejection. And that is basically this one here. The reversal trades at the pivot. If that candle is too big, you can wait for a pullback into 50% of the candle, but otherwise you can sell it at the close of that candle. And that is technically what we had there. Nila, so I missed this one. That would have been your entry. Stop loss 20 pips. First target would be S1. And then you could try and leave a runner for the rest of the day. News out my GU trade. Yeah, you took some shorts on. Weirdly enough, Jeevan in the office took these sells. Only thing was my accumulation distribution fucked me up a little bit. I still told you guys if it was any other day, Asia highs, daily pivot, but the accumulation distribution was diverging bullish. As you can see, it was starting to make higher highs, higher lows. So I didn't back the idea, but it was an absolute flush to the downside. But this was technically a perfect trade. Only thing I needed was for my accumulation distribution to fall in line. We're gonna wait for the 15-minute shuffle, see where we are in the next 10 minutes, see if we can get some positions into the market. USD JPY. Let's see if we can get a retest of the pivot and then get a break of structure to the upside. Something like this. I will then be looking for potential longs on this. Gotta wait for that first 15 minutes, guys. How's everyone doing? How's the energy levels? Energy levels still high. Thursday. We do sometimes tend to get sloppy as the week goes on. Start off with high hopes, high energy. Maybe you had some setbacks during the week. Don't let that put you back. Regather, regroup, and let's push on to Friday. Let's make it a good one. Let's lock it in for the session. Guys, I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. I just want to grab a piece of toilet paper. See you guys now. Neil, as long as there were lessons to be learned, losses are not necessarily a bad thing. It's sometimes something we need to go through in order to progress to the next level. So as long as you have learned something from it, take it away as a positive. Regroup, refine. Almost AM pumped with NAS 100. Hussein, good morning. Let's keep the energy high, guys. Thursday. Tomorrow, Gianno van Wyk, our guest. And next week, Friday, for the Port Elizabeth gang, we've got Jay Froneman. Meet and greet, and also gonna run through some charts together. So be sure to check out the socials for that. Follow us on Instagram. And are keen to have Jay in the office, and then either Monday or somewhere next week, quite a big announcement as well. Another big project I am working on, or I'm a part of, and I'm very excited for that. Also with that initiative, we're going to do quite a bit of giveaways. Where's the boys today, Chris? Keegan quickly at something he needed to do, but he will be back on post from tomorrow. Just had a little meeting you needed to sort out. Remember, there's more to life than just trading. Always remember that. Jevon had to go and get a haircut. He said because his head is so oddly shaped, he can only cut with one barber. I'm kidding, he didn't say his head is oddly shaped, but USDs are starting to go bullish again. Nothing here for me as of yet. Pound yen slicing through the lows. Daily bias is bearish. I will potentially be looking for longs round about 184, guys, just letting you know. 184 round number. I am potentially gonna check for a long. Let's just see how we develop around that level. 184, either some type of break of structure from here, or it is worth a punt. Sun Helsing, good morning. The only person a man of color will never cheat on is his barber. Dude, even me. I think I've been cutting with my barber. He's like 13 years. That's what they say in life. You need a good doctor, you need a good lawyer, and you need a good barber. You don't compromise on any one of those. So my barber is Lebanese, Muslim. I don't know why, but all the Muslim brothers can cut hair. I never really like cutting with the Pakistani guys, but the Lebanese brothers, they know what they're doing. And plus a good cook, exactly. So all the Muslim brothers, they can cut hair. Actually, for the last, I almost want to say 15 years, I've been cutting. So the barbers, they are all from either Albania or Lebanon, Muslim guys. So yeah, they are very good. And I also love to go for the shave with the clean blade. That is my therapy for the day or for the week. Letting them shave your beard with that clean blade. Alright guys, 15 minutes has passed. I'm going to monitor this round number on GJ. I want to see if I can potentially catch a falling knife here. And due to the fact that I mentioned we are coiling into this zone right here, so I do think either we're going to break out today is either going to be the breakout and it's going to flush and it's going to break all of the structure lower, or we again going to try and push up more like to the mid-range point. But let's see if we can hold that round number. I'm going to try and catch that falling knife, try and see if I can get something out of it, because technically still on the 4 hour we've got this massive range. So let's see, 5 minute, nice little support to hold, potentially a little break of structure here at the round number. I'm going to then try and trade it back to the Asia lows. That's about a 40 pip move. So I'm going to be on alert here, try and see if we can catch something there. USD JPY starting to show some signs of weakness here, but let's see. Any break above here, I will be a buyer. So I'm just going to set some alerts for us. 147.555. That is where we will be buying from. Gold, I mentioned we are bearish on the day. We've had two significant down days. Apologies, let me just jump back to silent. I'm gonna chat to you now. I'll monitor it here on my broker feed. Gold, we had two quite big down days on gold, actually 3. And we are also trading into this area right here. So as I mentioned, can we get some type of pullback, or we're just going to continue lower? The bias is bearish. However, you want to either be trading it from away from the Asia lows, so wait for the break lower, then sell it from these Asia lows and this daily level right here. Or the other case scenario is if we are going to start pushing bullish, you would want to see something like this. So technically still within the Asia range. I wouldn't do anything within the Asia range. I will wait for it to do some type of breakout. The other scenario is something like this, coming back here, taking out yesterday's low here, and then reversing back above the Asia lows. So either way, Asia lows, Asia highs, those are going to be your points of interest that you want to monitor. Anything inside here, for me, no trade range. I wouldn't want to trade anything inside of this. Alright, USD JPY, we've got our alerts set there as well. If we can get a structure break here, I am going to look for longs. Yeah. I first want to see a nice structure break there. GBP USD still to the downside. DXY bullish on the day. Asia is being tested. Let's see if we can push up. Remember, weekly targets 105.26. That should flush GU. That should also flush the indices lower. And let's see, are we gonna get some type of pullback on the indices? GJ as well. Just gonna monitor this level. But I do think German 30, let me grab German 30 for you here on the chart. Let me just quickly get German 30. How's the trading week been going, guys? Up, down, positive, negative for the week? Let me know how the trading week has been going. Don't worry, I cannot see if you engage in the poll. I cannot see who is in a loss or who is in a positive, so it is completely anonymous. So silent. Let me look at the weekly time frame. Weekly, technically bullish. We tested this area, we've held it, we've closed bullish again. My only thing though is we closed bullish below this area, and today we've broken last week's low. So for an easy week next week, if this weekly candle can do something like this, close back inside of this range, break this short-term structure right there, we can see a flush next week. Otherwise, this is the liquidity grab to push up and actually go and fill that wick. But weekly time frame was, so my weekly time frame would have been bullish, 5 consecutive days of down movement. Again, I would have been bearish on the day. However, let's get some context on the 5 minute. So trading below the Asia lows. Asia lows right there, tested twice. And your accumulation distribution, weirdly enough, from roundabout yesterday afternoon started to show some buy side divergence. So I would say potential buys if you get something like this, a break of structure to the upside, strong bullish candle, closing back inside of the Asia range, and I'll be a buyer then. That is my view on it, silent. Hope that helps. Nasdaq going for yesterday's lows. I'm not going to partake in that. USD ZAR, I'm still keen for potential sell. GJ, round number. Let's see what we get here. USD JPY. Technically starting to show some signs of weakness, but if we get a break there, I'm going to take a squeeze on it. We have already technically taken the weekly high. Wednesday's high was taken out yesterday. Failure to continue higher, but let's see. I'm not necessarily going to be a seller as of yet on this. Still Thursday. Silent, if you are in a trade from Tuesday and this 1916 level, I would say once we get there, the thing that you should monitor is your weekly low right here. So there's one of two things that can happen at this weekly low. It's either going to do something like this, it's going to flush it, and it's going to reject off that and come back inside of the range, and then we can start potentially seeing the pullback. Or what you're going to see is something like this. It's going to flush the weekly low, maybe a tiny little pullback to that weekly low level, and then you're going to have a complete capitulation move lower. So I would say if you're still in a trade, I would monitor Asia lows, and I would monitor weekly lows. Also on a weekly time frame, remember we are still technically bullish on the week. You are literally very close to last week's low, so I would say don't be greedy. You've taken a big chunk of the market. take 90% off, leave a runner, and you can literally let that runner just follow, say, the previous day's high, for instance, or the session high. Do not let greed blind you of taking profits. Music is a touch too loud. Let me just get it softer. Thank you, Aram, for letting me know. Is that better? Let me know if the music is better. Alright guys, 60% of you are in profit for the week, 33% negative. Very well done. Tap yourself on the back. You are part of the 1%. Chef, good morning Chris. Hope you are doing good. I'm doing well, my friend. I am doing very well. Just waiting to potentially get some trades here. Alright, as mentioned, Nasdaq going for that weekly low. So if we can take that weekly low and get back above this level here, I do feel like we can get some very nice moves back up. Keenan, good morning, good morning. But we've got our alert set on UJ, GJ. It is looking less probable, and considering that we are rejecting the weekly pivot, we can potentially come all the way down to 183. That is where the weekly S1 is sitting. So we can technically come all the way back down here. Also, daily bias is bearish, and as I mentioned, if you're looking at the moving average on our 80, still pointing down. But if you zoom into this level here, you can see we are starting to try and bottom out. So the 80 is starting to try and flip to the upside, and I think if we can do something like that, I still favor the buys. Let me put it that way. I still favor potential buy opportunities. Same with Nasdaq. Ricochet. Elson Antonio, first time seeing you. Yeah, brother. Hope you're doing well. Some first time visitors in the chat. Guys, I made a post yesterday about bots. You guys know my stance on EAs and trading robots that don't work. So please do not get scammed or waste any of your hard-earned money on them. I've already paid the price for you guys not to pay the price, so Mo, can you ask Caitlin for a cup of coffee? Yeah. Jacob's coffee. No, Jacob's. Regular Jacob's. Also guys, load shedding at 10. Let me just see the schedule here, so hopefully we can enter that. And then also tomorrow, officially launching the Discord channel, again completely free. And in instances like this where we've got load shedding, I can share the setups with you guys on there. So that's coming tomorrow. Yeah, unfortunately 10 o'clock, I don't know if you can see that, that is where we are. So yeah, I'm also very excited about the Discord. I think we can ring fence our community. I think there's going to be a lot more engagement there as well. Yeah guys, feel free to like the stream. Feel free to subscribe. Again, as always, the streams are free 99. We only charge a freemium. It's completely free. We just charge likes now and then. Thank you, Chef. And also, if you want to support the channel, our partner broker, Vault Markets, link in the description. This initiative has been made available through them, through our partnership with Vault. And also, as mentioned, quite a big announcement next week, which I really feel I was part of the development of the project, part of the rollout, and it is something for traders, catered to traders, to help you guys. It is a project that's been ongoing. A lot of time, money and effort has gone into it. And I don't want to disclose too much. We're in the final phases of testing. Because weirdly enough, everyone else is watching what we're doing. So you can either sit with the sitters or you can run with the runners. That's always the case in life. Discord link tomorrow. That will also be in the description video for tomorrow. The only rules and guidelines for the Discord community is going to be to respect one another. We respect all other traders. We do not promote any scams. If you are going to try and promote a service on the Discord, you will get kicked immediately. Everything on there should be done for free. Everything you do on there should add value to your fellow trader. We will have a banter channel, maybe just mute that. But ultimately it should be something of value. Even though we joke around a lot and we try and make trading less serious, it's still a serious business. There's still people's livelihoods at stake. People trying to make some extra money for either trying to pay off their debt, trying to pay off school fees, whatever it is, whatever your grind is with trading. Not everyone is in the same boat, and that is something that we need to realize. So as much as I joke a lot of times, I take trading very seriously, and I also take it very serious in terms of the information I put out there and the information I share with you guys. So I curate everything before I put it out. I also consider the guy that's a newbie trader. I consider the trader that's struggling. I'm considering the person that may be struggling just generally in life, depression, wherever you are. So that is why I started these streams with the vision to try and help and assist traders as far as we can. Thank you so much. What milk is this? Is it like almond? Okay. San Helsing, great to have you here, man. So yeah, that's the dream with the vision for this, is to be a community where, let's say, if you're part of the community for a year, 2 years, however long, that you can walk away and say that Chris and the team, myself, Keegan, Jevon, I, and whoever's on the stream at any given day have really enriched my life, not just through trading, but just through inspiration, through guidance, and through potential mentorship. So that is ultimately the vision and the goal with this. It is not to swindle you anything. We don't have any services. And there's nothing wrong if you've got a trading service or a mentorship. I do feel that is part of the trading ecosystem. But for me, I want to try and help as many people as I can through these live streams, through my past experiences. San Helsing, welcome brother, in relation to Van Helsing. Yeah, you guys have seen our commitment every day, on time, on schedule. Even though there are days that I'm maybe not keen to trade or stream, I still pitch up. Again, not getting paid for it, but I feel that there is a sense of, I wouldn't say urgency, but maybe just like a sense of helping the community, and that's why we pitch up every day. You would have some mentors out there that can't even consistently pitch up to you as a trading member of their community, and you're paying them money. That is always the funny thing. You're charging people money, but you can't even be consistent in the information you put out. San Helsing. Guys, GBP USD, I am considering longs here, and what I want to see is for this next 5-minute candle to close something like this. Then I will execute longs, purely due to the fact that we are at a S1 level, this level right here. Also, as you can see, no test, back test on the Asia lows. So I'm going to try and buy this and potentially see if we can grab like a 17-18 pip move up and then even potentially see if we can regain that, try and hold it back to the round number right there. So GBP USD as well on high alert. We've got our alert set on UJ, also DXY. I think if we can come back into the Asia range, but I'm gonna try if we can get some type of structure like this. You can see some sort of slowing here of the momentum down, and this is a pullback play. This is not going with the overall momentum. So 3 minutes, I have to go and pee quick. I will see you guys now. Keep an eye on this. I want to see some type of little structure break here, and we will be in. Alright, we just need GBP USD to hold the line. I am looking at the market from 2017, but I've never have a trading account yet. Alright, that is tough. Alright guys, just a disclaimer, these streams are not financial advice. It's purely for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please consult with your financial advisor before making any financial decision. You will lose money if you follow what we do on the stream. And with that, the disclaimer. Again, it is very cold in this office. Load shedding in 15 minutes. Let's see if we can grab a position. 20 seconds. I'm executing on the close of this candle. If it can just pull back a little bit. Right, 3, 2, 1, in. Okay. Longs executed on the close of this candle. 15 pip stop. Target is, first target Asia lows, and then the round number. Reason why I executed this, sorry, we've got some divergence on. Is my mic too loud? I see my mic speaking a bit. Let me just put it down. We've got some divergence on the accumulation distribution at the S1. I'm going to take a squeeze at it. Setup we're looking at here is the setup right there. So this middle one you're seeing, that is the setup we are taking. Let me maybe snip it for you guys so you can screenshot it if you like. But that is the little setup we are taking here. Again, no overthinking. Purely price is at our level. So even though that's showing pivot, remember this is also pivot, it is S1. So that is what we are trading here. USD JPY, still monitoring it. Nasdaq also quite a nice potential buy setup. If we can form a resistance there and you get a break of structure like that, I would say it's worth a punt. So for the guys that trade Nasdaq, that is something I will look at. I don't trade Nasdaq. And for that German 30 dude, I think you should be already in if you wanted to buy. So, sorry, just remember guys, this is just a little pullback play. I actually have my TP set there for 1.2% because the order flow is still bearish. We can even still potentially do an equal legs of this move. So you could even potentially see price later on trading at 2400. But I'm just taking a punt here on a little pullback play. 10 minutes to load shedding. Hopefully we can take profit by then. GBP, JPY also at this round number level. I'm not going to take both, but what I would say is if we form some type of resistance here and the next candle gives you something like this, also not a bad idea to execute a long. You guys know what? I'm actually gonna go for I've had a decent week. I'm gonna go for 12518. if I do not get stopped out, I am actually gonna leave this trade to run after load shedding. However, what I will do is I'm going to set alerts at Asia lows. If we can't regain Asia lows, then I'll potentially close out. But if we can get through Asia lows and we can hold above here, I'm going to leave this to run. Monday, Tuesday, we cut our trades short. I'm going to try and get this to run a bit. Here's Nasdaq potentially setting up for the NAS traders. Exactly like we said, nice little taking the weekly low, yesterday's low as well. I do think we can see some type of pullback. German 30 Asia lows. Can hold these Asia lows. We can see a push.
That's not my business.
Honest question, guys, do you still get emotional or get scared when you enter trades? Like if you enter here, do you emotionally get affected when the trade goes into drawdown? Let me know. I think that is something traders struggle with, is the emotions. For me personally, I don't feel a thing. Like it's a setup, it's in my playbook. I've been trading it for so long. It is literally just another bullet. Zero emotions. Obviously I have ways to manage my risk. Can't do much here in terms of risk management because we can even go all the way back here and retest that level and break up. So for me on this trade, it's either a stop or it's a TP, but there's no emotion. Thank you so much, team. I have to leave now. Cheers, Amos. Thanks for joining, man. Dude, drawdown should not affect you. So years ago when I started trading this strategy, I would wait for like a bottom wick and I want to get it like say as close to this level as possible, and then I would miss trades. And now the thing is, if I can just relatively get it close to a zone that I want to trade, for instance this is now the zone I want to get close to, then that's fine. But the thing to try and be nitty gritty about 3 or 4 or 5 pips, you need to look at your opportunity cost. So you potentially giving up, what is this, 42 pip gain to try and gain 3 pips down here. And also something that I had to I struggled with is, let's say for instance I trade a breakout, for instance I trade this. I struggled with the thing that price can potentially pull back deep into drawdown, come back here again, come back again to that level, and you sit through that drawdown. But ultimately it's about price staying above a level. So while it's holding that level, there shouldn't be any stress. If you enter a breakout trade like we did on yen earlier this week, we entered, I think it was here on Tuesday, yeah. So we entered here on Tuesday, 20 pip stop. So while we were sitting in this drawdown, I'm actually going to clip that trade and share it later in the week or next week. While we were doing this, I still told you guys, very high probability we haven't retested the Asia lows after the breakout. So I said we can come back to retest the Asia lows as long as we stay below it. And a lot of guys, once they were 10, 12 pips in profit, would have moved stops to break even, and they were out of the trade. So there should be zero emotion when you're trading. There should be absolutely zero emotion. The loss is not going to define you as a person or your ability to trade. Losses are unfortunately just part of the game. Like my win rate, I've got a win rate of around about, say, 60%, 67%. So technically there are going to be anywhere between 3 to 4 losses for every 10 trades I take. And it doesn't affect me. Like I took a loss yesterday. I had 2 wins this week, took a loss yesterday. Do you think NAS will push back up now? Andrew, potentially. Yeah, so as I mentioned, there's that break. If I was trading NAS, I would have entered here somewhere. Again, I would firstly target the weekly pivot, Asia lows, and then Asia highs. And this NAS trade is also similar to what we bought on GU. It's this one right here. Little break of structure. This is not necessarily a pivot, but this is that daily level I showed you guys. So that flat body resistance area. So yeah, I do think high probability that Nasdaq can push up. Same with US 30 already pushing, and German 30 as well. Who's the guy in the chat that asked when we were here? I said that is your area to enter. This for me is more a continuation buy. Let me just show you guys quickly. Trading material. So that for me is more like a continuation buy. Let me just snip this for you. I know there was a gentleman asking about German 30. So this for me I saw as a continuation buy. So I used that Asia low as a pivot as well. And there you had a nice little break of structure. So you had to push up, you had this base or consolidation, whatever you want to call it. And then you had a nice break of structure there. And that is where you could have executed. If you are in this daily pivot, obviously you need to monitor this daily pivot, and I think if you can get above it, then you can actually start seeing a very nice move back up to R1. Same with US 30, same with NAS. You could see a move back to the weekly pivot or even the daily pivot. but I am not trading that now. We are currently already in a trade. So for instance, like we mentioned previously, there's the structure break. I need to be fine to know that we can pull all the way back to retest the zone again, and then potentially only get the move up. I wouldn't sell here. So it's not the case of me going to try and sell once we break through here. I've taken my bite of the apple. If you look on a 1 minute time frame, like I mentioned, you add your break of structure to the upside, and on the 1 minute time frame, this is your pullback. And whether we're going to push bullish, I don't know, but I am placing my trade with the idea that we can push bullish. Guys, 10 o'clock now, so if the stream cuts off, please just note that is load shedding. As I mentioned, I've got alert set at Asia lows, either stop or we're gonna eat some profits, but I will keep you guys posted if we get cut off now. Gemma 30 is now called 40 due to more companies being added. Nice. Nas making a hard. Sorry, that's not a signal, guys. I just said where I would have entered. Yeah, I think if Nas can hold here, you can see a very nice move back up. USD JPY, I'm still gonna consider buys if we get back inside of the Asia range. DXY back on Asia highs, trying to hold this retest. That is also why you're seeing GU dropping down. So I think if we can get something like this, next 5 minute candle coming back into the Asia range, breaking structure lower, we can get that pullback on GU. Otherwise, if we hold here and we start pushing back to session highs, that will most likely be the stop. We will get stopped, and that is my session then. Obviously no electricity after that due to load shedding. And then UJ, for the guys that are still going to be on later, anything like that, a break of structure, Asia highs, Asia lows holding, daily pivot holding, I will be bullish.